know if you're on there, just kind of making sure. Alright, make sure my audio is in. Let me check real quick. Okay. Looks like we are fine here. Welcome, Dog Squad. I know this is kind of late. I know I was supposed to get this done yesterday, but I had to do something. And so I know I've been putting up times. I know we've never technically gotten it. What up, Jackson? It says it's weird because it says you're on here, but the viewers aren't on there anyways. But here we are with the TreyDog Talks 2025 college football season preview, and we're going to try to see what we can do here. My first ever really just completely just talk show. John Horn is going to be a good season. It definitely is. College football. I'm glad we got some early chats here. Let's keep this going. I don't know why it says 0 views, and then yet it's still saying for some reason that I'm getting chats, but I guess it's a glitch, so I don't know. And I got my notes, I got everything. We are going to be talking about certain conferences. For maybe the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be going over every team, not every team, but all 4 Power 4 conferences, and then like some certain questions, and then also the champion of each conference. And if you do, I made a short about a couple weeks ago, or I think it was maybe the day before I started school, maybe a couple days before that actually, that I predicted the conference champions for each conference, and we're going to be talking about kind of who maybe pick a playoff push questions about each team. I got my Oklahoma State because that is one of my top colleges next to Missouri. Yes, I'm an Arkansas fan, but I don't really hate Missouri. That's not really a rivalry in my opinion, honestly. It's not really, it's not in my opinion a rivalry. Because I don't like LSU or Ole Miss or Texas A&M. I don't like either 3 of those colleges. So, no, football teams. I mean, the colleges are probably nice, but football teams, basketball, baseball, whatever, especially LSU baseball, I do not like them. So, but that's what I'm going to say. But thank you so much for everyone tuning in. So far, we've had 2 chats. I don't really know why it says 0 viewers. I wish I could know. Maybe a glitch. I can probably try resetting or something. Here, let me... Yep, it says we have 3 people here on the stream. Okay, so what we got? Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to try to throw y'all away or something. Let's go ahead and get into discussion. We got TreyDog Talks 2025 college football season preview. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, announcements. Kind of already said that. Should have already kind of flipped it. But we will be also, I forgot to mention, we'll be doing an NFL one next week. Should be doing an NFL next Sunday one around 4:30 p.m. here on the channel. I'm excited to be doing that. I'm trying to grab one of my old coaches that he was been asking. He's a funny guy, a young coach that's been wanting to been on one of my live streams before. And I just got him on this because I was thinking that maybe I'm gonna probably do an NFL talk show. So maybe he wants to talk NFL. Well, I'm gonna bring him here on the channel. So some of y'all that are watching, may know who I'm talking about, may not. If you're seeing Blair and TV, I got like a preseason rerun from NFL Network on here. That's the Seahawks and Packers. All right, so here we go. SEC. So we start off. Let me grab my notes here. I'm sorry. Google Docs. Got to grab my notes here and talk. So we start off. Alabama, will the Tide roll to the playoffs? And it starts off saying that it's very potential that they are maybe even an Natty contender. Ty Simpson, their new quarterback, is going to probably be a pretty great one this year for Alabama. Kalen DeBoer is going to has his second year with the Tide. I think last year you weren't really going to upgrade really much with Nick Saban. You weren't really going to meet with Nick Saban. You were going to upgrade maybe in certain standards, but you really weren't going to do much. It's Nick Saban. We're not probably going to have another coach like that ever again. So the question is, if they can roll back to the playoffs? Yes, I think they can roll to the playoffs this year for the first to be the first time they've made a 12-team playoff, but it'll be only the second year. They got a tough defense to play. They got a tough schedule, obviously, but it's the SEC, and I do think that this Alabama team can do it. Because last year, even though Jalen Miller, I think, helped the team a lot, there were also some problems that he kind of caused. There were also some other issues with the team overall, and it was, kind of some bad losses that kind of hurt them making the college football playoff. So we'll just have to see what goes on with that this year. Like I said, defensive domination will really help them make the playoffs. I think they're a more upgraded team than we saw. They did a great job in the transfer portal. I could definitely see them making the playoffs and maybe even making the championship game. We'll see. All right, Arch Manning, big season. We've talked about a lot him having a potential big season, and yes, that's probably going to happen. I think Hill's first year will be pretty good. Then his second year, assuming he stays, will even be better. We know usually that kind of goes on with quarterbacks most of the time. I could see a big help with him with Texas this year, maybe even bringing him back to where they were last year. Texas made the semifinals last year and lost by 14 to the Ohio State Buckeyes, which I was very glad that happened, because I am also I'm a Notre Dame fan and an Ohio State fan. Trust me, I am not a bandwagon. I have reasons. I just like Notre Dame. They're a good school. I kind of like them in like all athletics. I was even proud of them for making a couple years ago them beating Tennessee in the Super Regionals to advance to the College World Series. So it's not like it's just football. Ohio State. I'm more like their football because that's when I grew up watching their football, but I do like their other sports. Baseball's not big for them, obviously. Basketball, yeah, I was like that they were a 2 seed a few years ago, lost 15 seed to Oral Roberts in the first round. That didn't really make me upset. I mean, that didn't really help me, but it is what it is with them. But Ohio State, yep, they are. I am a fan of Ohio State. We got 5 people here on the stream. Thank you for tuning in here on a Sunday night. I know a lot of y'all have school, unless y'all are adults. But Arch Manning, like I said, definitely can see him get Texas back to where they were last year. They got a talented offense. Steve Sarkisian will know what to do with this team. He's an experienced coach. He had one bad year with them a few years ago. They'll be fine, I think. But like I said, he'll probably, if he stays another year, assuming he does, he'll have a better year next year than he does this year. Arkansas, like I said, I'm an Arkansas fan. Can they? OHIO. Yeah, JD, that's exactly right. Will Sam Pittman have a better? What I mean by an alive season? Now I'm an Arkansas fan. What I mean, will he keeps this season alive? I don't really know how to say it in this part. That yes, I do think he will be the head coach next year, unless we lose in contract or whatever. That if we make a bowl game, or as long as we don't have like. I do think if there's a lot of games this year, it's like, oh, you could have won 10 games, made the college football playoff, but no, you took them games away because you pulled Arkansas. Yeah, then there's probably going to have to be some firing. But if you just pull a traditional 6-6, 7-5 season from Arkansas, that's the standard. Yeah, I mean, unless you want to go up, but I just know Arkansas standard. Then I don't want to go in, I don't want to be bad like we were with Chad Morris. I mean, sure, you want better, but like, what are you going to expect? It's Arkansas football. I mean, you're going to have 6-6, 7-5 seasons. I mean, sure, you have Taylor Green. This offense is going to probably be very elite this year. I'm not saying, it's in the SEC, so who knows. But I don't think this defense will be as tremendous as it was. But you have T. Will coaching, but therefore he's not really consistent enough, so I'm not really going to go by that. But this offense will be pretty loaded, and I could see them having a good effect on it. But like I said, the defense may not. And it just depends how Sam Pittman can keep this team going. That's a question. It's just Arkansas standards. Are they good enough? Taylor Green, hold on, what did I say? Taylor Green, supremacy. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But like I said, the Arkansas is it's their standards, and to have them and have Sam Pittman again next year, very likable for me in a way. But then there's also hands like, hey, you want to go better. But very probable that he'll probably be having another season unless other stuff happens, like I said. Florida preview. They will have, they have Lagway as a quarterback. Will be a top quarterback probably in the nation next year, even especially in the SEC. Will be able to help Florida overcome some of their early games last year. Then the later games last year, they're able to kind of fall back. And, maybe we'll see this year. Lagway got injured against Georgia. A lot of people are saying they would have beaten Georgia, and that could have also affected their chances at the college football playoff. Well, they probably would have made it, but it would have been harder, and they probably would have been a 2 seed, but not like they did anything with it. But that's off Georgia. Jaden Baugh and Jacoby Jackson will help. Solid defense for them. That will at least be a key. They are a sneaky team for the playoffs. I could see them maybe at least winning 6 to 8 games this year, maybe 9. But I don't honestly think they will make the playoffs, but if they keep it up next year, it depends who also leaves, who comes back. it will all come. But next year. You know, Billy Napier, I think, will have a better season because a lot of people were wanting him fired last year at Florida. So it just depends on what we'll see from the Gators in terms of that. They're a team it's just really a definition of an upgraded team, and they've got a star player. What will they do with it? We'll see. Champion I have, the Georgia Bulldogs. Like I said, that was my video. I trust Kirby Smart. They're going to probably be pretty talented on both sides. There's that. I'm not going to explain more because I kind of explained already on that short, so that's why I'm going to go. And plus, we need to move on. ACC now. How will Bill Belichick do with North Carolina? Well, North Carolina, I think he'll thrive his first season. You know, North Carolina's not all the time really expected to, you know, not really expected to exceed expectations, but I could see, you know, Bill Belichick coaching in a college standard. Yeah, I could see that. They got the South Alabama quarterback upgraded. You know, I could see them maybe making a top bowl game this year. You know, their defense is going to be better. You know, last year we kind of saw them, yeah, that's okay. Offense will kind of be, yeah, that's okay. And then, you know, they'll be, you know, more upgraded. Their offensive coordinator will be more experienced. Yeah, we'll see what goes with that. We also got some more chats here. No, he does not have an intro clock. 6-8, too many losses. Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm confused. What did that have to do, JD? What was that was that with Arkansas? I'll have to look. But Bill Belichick will help this team out. But I feel like it's the same thing with Art Manning. His first year, yeah, he'll probably be keeping the standards, maybe exceeding a bit. And then the second year, I could see, depending on who all stays, what they get from the transfer portal, I could definitely see them maybe at least making the playoffs at some time with his coaching career. But that depends on how long he stays. I mean, he did retire from the Patriots, didn't ever think he'd come back, and voila, he's back. So we'll see what goes on. The Tigers, Clemson Tigers champs, maybe. I mean, they're very, very, very probable that the odds are pretty good for them. Odds are leaning towards the Clemson Tigers. Caleb Klubnik is a Heisman candidate. We saw him thrive last year, but wasn't talented enough to win a Heisman. Also, you had quarterbacks like Dylan Gabriel, Shadur Sanders, and then you also had Ashton Jeanty and then Travis Hunter. They were a better, more talented player than him. But this year, with them out of the way, yeah, I could definitely see them making, and that can make room for him to have an excelling season. And keep Clemson in the national natty contender, and as well as Tom Allen's defense, he's coming to Clemson to coach them. Their defense will probably be big. Their pass offense, like I said, will be big as well. So they're going to overall have a pretty elite team, and we'll just have to see, will they be able to make the national championship and have a chance at winning it, because and plus Dabo Swinney's also won a couple natties, so we'll see if he can maybe do it again. He's very experienced in these type of situations, and last year they even made the playoffs, beating SMU in the ACC championship. And we knew they were experienced there. Yeah, you were talking about Arkansas. Okay. FSU bounced back. Like I said, I did not say FSU bounced back. Florida State bounced back. Yeah, Norvell knows what to do. We saw him almost make the playoffs a couple years ago. That's debatable if he was robbed or not. But they were also hurt. They can keep the team healthy. Thomas Castellanos for FSU will be an upgrade. DJ really couldn't do much last year. Now he's in the NFL as like a backup. I think I saw him the other day. I forgot what team he was playing for. But like I said, Norvell knows how to run a good squad. Gus Malzahn is now their next offensive coordinator, so there also could be a little bit more of an upgrade there. This is going to be a year where they're going to be like, okay, well, at least we're not 2-10 again. No, it's not going to be a top team like they were a couple years ago, going 13-1, and like they got the transfers, they got the squad, and they'll probably make a bowl game. But if they keep it up, they might have another chance in the next couple years, maybe even next year, at making it back to the playoffs and maybe making up for what they had back in 2023. Miami in college football playoff. Yeah, well, last year they had a big chance at it, but then they blew it to Syracuse, and then they missed the ACC championship and lost their chance at a berth. They could have honestly beaten SMU that year if it wasn't for, because SMU was pretty fraudulent. They didn't play anyone. They only played really one good half against a good team last year. That was the Clemson game. They played terrible against Penn State. So yeah, but anywho, enough about them. DJ's a Charger. Okay, thank you for telling me, Jackson. Yeah, I remember sawing the other day. Play. I just couldn't remember now. That makes sense. Miami has Carson Beck, and we saw a lot. I know there's a lot of hating going around with Carson Beck, but I saw him do pretty well with Georgia. Yeah, there were some boneheaded mistakes with him. He wasn't going to probably win a national championship with Georgia, but therefore Miami has Carson Beck. They got productive running backs that are going to be pretty talented that they had last year. The O-line was actually pretty crazy last year, giving Cam Ward that much time. They're returning 3 starters now on the Hurricane offense. They're going to be more run-focused now that their new offensive coordinator's there, or at least their offensive coordinators at least want to change that. Corey Heatherman at DC, that will at least maybe upgrade the defense from being basically like the Cincinnati Bengals last year and being absolutely terrible and affecting the Miami Hurricanes from going to the college football playoff, because that was the only reason that they didn't. And Cam Ward, I think they had like 38 points last year against was it Syracuse? Yeah, I was absolutely terrible, and I was actually wanting to see Miami go to the playoffs, but it's okay. Maybe they can this year. They got the transfers, so, and as always, they're going to either be a bust or boom situation in college football. So, yeah. And in the champion, I have to say Clemson. They're the better team in the ACC. I even have them almost winning the whole thing, but we'll talk about champions later. Moving on to the Big Ten, Ohio State Buckeyes. Will they repeat? I'm going to let you finish, JD. The Ohio State Buckeyes are going to be, again, a talented team. Chip Kelly left to go to the Las Vegas Raiders, so their offense under Ryan Day, I know he's not coordinating it, but leading the team overall, and he's the head coach. Julian Sang could be a pretty good starting quarterback this year, but because the Buckeyes have a lot of good quarterbacks in the past few years. They could be big. Jeremiah Smith was a top freshman last year next to Ryan Williams, so he's also going to be helping the Ohio State offense return back to what it was. They've always been a running offense as well. I'm not really going to be worried about what they can do running the ball. Matt Patricia wasn't really a good head coach, but he can obviously play. He can also help on the. Yeah, there you go, JD. Can also help be a good defensive coordinator. He was at New England for quite a while, and they did pretty solid with him. I could see Ohio State's defense at the collegiate level be a pretty back to an elite situation. They did lose some big players, so that might kind of hurt them. They lost Jack Sawyer. He was a late rounder in the NFL draft. So, but I think this team may not repeat, but they honestly could. Now we've seen at least now what confidence Ohio State has in themselves. They're not like, hey, you're considered chokers anymore. I think they have a pretty elite team, and they honestly could win it all. But if they don't, I at least see them making the semis again. And Michigan, Ohio State, I have to say I don't think Ohio State's winning again this year. And also there's another reason is because, you can't really trust them. Ohio State's only won one time. Again, that was earlier, was it pre-COVID? I honestly can't remember. But it was quite a bit ago that they did last time they did that. But it's at Michigan. It's in Ann Arbor. Michigan has Bryce Underwood, was a top recruit pick last year. O-line will be pretty big. Their elite defensive line will be once again probably rushing to Julian Sang once again, like they kept rushing the quarterback last year. I mean, they're going to be a good team. They have, last year was just a fluke. They didn't, after winning the Natty. It's just a hangover, but they're gonna get back into it. And I don't really, I hope they don't. But they got the team to do it, and I think they probably will have They have a very, very, very good chance at making the college football playoff after not making it even close to it last year. Especially getting the year off beating Alabama, that was pretty good too. Even though Alabama wasn't as good as we thought they were, and we thought they should have made the playoffs. Yeah, I think they had all their starters playing too. So, yeah, I think SMU is the best bet. But it would have been a better game if Alabama went to play Penn State. Just saying. Can James Franklin win a big conference games? Well, I really haven't seen it. I saw you beat up on SMU and Boise State. Didn't see you do it against, they were. And I admit, you didn't. Playoffs were playoffs. So you could have choked easily. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about big conference games in the season. Didn't beat Michigan. You beat Illinois, okay, they're good. Brett Bielema has done well with Illinois, but you didn't beat Ohio State last year. I don't think you played Michigan, but you didn't beat Oregon in the Big Ten championship. You gotta start winning them. I don't think I can start believing that. Ohio State needs to beat Michigan. I guess Ohio State will lose, and I'm not sure. Okay, but yeah, it's very debatable. If James Franklin wins it, because I don't see him do it a lot, so I'd have to say no, but definitely very possible that he can bounce back this year. Is Oregon still legit? Well, they have they're not that legit. Losing Dylan Gabriel didn't really help, but they have a pretty good, pretty talented running back room, as well as elite pass rush. Like I said, a new QB, though, could either be a boom or bust. When you're a new QB in college football, that's usually the key. You have to produce good quarterbacks, and we've seen Oregon do that a little bit in the past. Just how much are they going to move in the NFL? We don't usually see that from them. Besides Justin Herbert, obviously. But the wide receiver room does lack experience, so that's going to also be a key thing for them. So no, they are not probably going to be legit, but I do like Oregon. I'm not a bandwagon. I just somehow like these teams. It's not really I'm a big fan. It's just I do like them. It's not like I'm a diehard like I am with Arkansas, and could be with Oklahoma State or Missouri, whichever college I go to. And then the champion, I got my Ohio State Buckeyes. Going to winning the Big Ten. And if you want to go see my explanation, you can go check in my shorts. And, of course, I explained a little bit there. All right, Big 12. And we already saw a college football game yesterday between Iowa State and Kansas State. It was 7-7 for, a lot of the first half. And then eventually the defense didn't I've had enough of my job. Y'all go play. And when that happened, it turned into a pretty good quarterback battle. Yes, in the Big 10, in the Big 12 between Avery Johnson and Beck for Iowa State. And we saw that it was 2 TDs and 0 interceptions from both players. But it depends which quarterback made the better decisions. And, well, it was honestly which defense really just stopped them at that point. Usually it's like, hey, which quarterback came through? Yeah, well, the Kansas State didn't come through. But, more likely that as much as the defense was doing well in the first half, they didn't do enough in the second half. And Iowa State and Kansas State are going – it's kind of hard to say anything right now, writing a team off, but they're going to be pretty good playoff contenders this year and could honestly see a rematch in the Big 12 championship. But one team you also got to worry about, Arizona State. Coach Cunningham has done a terrific job with this program with the Sun Devils. And now you have Sam Leavitt coming back to play another year at Arizona State. He could be a Heisman candidate, and we've seen Arizona State. They were picked last to be in the Big 12 last year, and now they're could be even picked. You haven't seen my champion video, go check it out, or not. Probably not. Go ahead and watch to the very end and see that I picked them to win the Big 12. But they have very, very big chance. They have their Big 12 leading rush defense back once again. Possibility. Their experience is loaded. Not really many people left. Jordan Tyson is going to be really helping that offense as well. So I could see definitely Arizona State back to the playoffs. Could even be a chance at maybe how good they are, they could beat out, they could even win the conference. It may not even matter if they even won it. Who knows? Maybe they'll be because the Big 12 is Power 4, even besides what happened last year with not really, it feeling like a non-Power 4 conference. Kind of the same thing with the ACC. But they could honestly make it even win it. They could be that good. Oklahoma State bounce-back season? That's very possible. Thank y'all for tuning into the stream. We've had this is a lot of viewers today. I really want to thank y'all, too, for watching it. Oklahoma State bounce-back season? Yeah, Oklahoma State definitely have a bounce-back season. They do have to fill a lot of spots, but it's kind of like going to Florida State. Sure, you have to fill a lot of spots out, but you probably don't want to have a terrible season like you did last year. They went 3-9 last year. They beat Arkansas, shouldn't have, and then they beat Tulsa and some other team last year. They did lose to some Big 12 teams, last year. But, because they were supposed to – I remember funny thing was, I remember Utah and Oklahoma State, they were saying, why isn't this on game day? This is literally going to be the Big 12 could have a chance of being a Big 12 championship. But these are the best Big 12 teams. Did either of them make a bowl game last year? Because I know Oklahoma State didn't. And I don't think Utah did either. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe I'm not. I don't remember if Utah did. It's not like it's the NFL. I know more of the NFL than college, but I know enough about college to talk about it. Just with a little bit of research, though. A little help, but I do also know quite a bit because I watch every Saturday. I am a Saturday and Sunday type of guy. I don't just stick with one conference, and I play high school myself. But yeah, like I said, they're gonna be a bounce back. The QB competition is a major story. They have, the running back situation. Ollie Gordon left, but they got some guys filling offensive line. We're going to see some new starters out of them. They're going to have, it's just a massive turnover from them. New coordinator coming in to the defense. They'll have some guys returning for the defense as well, and we'll be able to help those new guys out. So I can see a better season than maybe making 6 wins to a bowl game. But y'all better be, if I come to college there, y'all better be in the playoffs. I want to see y'all in the playoffs like y'all had a chance a few years ago, but you couldn't get to the goal line. All right, Coach Prime, Colorado. They will have a significantly better offense after Shadur Sanders leaving, Travis Hunter leaving last year. Shiloh got waived by the Buccaneers. I saw that punch you threw yesterday. Utah did not. Okay, thanks, Jetty. Yeah, I did not think Utah made a bowl game last year. I remember that. It's the funny thing how the start of the season can do anything. Okay, they have now Caden Salter coming at quarterback to replace Deion's son, and a revamped offensive line as well as a more balanced run-pass attack from Colorado. They will also, we saw now that Travis Hunter's gone, Marion Miller will be able to shine with Colorado's new improved offense. They have a strong defensive line they'll be able to rely on and attack those Big 12 quarterbacks that many of them could be Heisman candidates. And they have some returning guys, McKinney and Walker. And it's going to be a revamped process, and you can maybe see Colorado being one of the Big 12 contenders, but to beat out some of these teams, it's very questionable. But I can see them like maybe a third or fourth place type of team. In the champion, I have Kansas State. Want to go check out the reason why? Go on my short. All right, remember to like and sub. We've so far had a good amount of viewers. We now have 2. Don't bring up the Oklahoma State goal line game, bro. Yeah, I know. That was actually that sucked. I know. I wasn't a big Oklahoma State fan. I wasn't really an Oklahoma State fan at the time because I didn't know I was going to try to go there to college. But then when I started kind of, hey, I like the school, and kind of started really liking the school, I started becoming a fan. But going to the Arkansas game, that was still it was still sickening watching Arkansas lose like that. I probably will always like Arkansas more than any other college, and it was still sickening. But I wore an Oklahoma State shirt. And I, walked out of there. No one knew. Besides, you're gonna be Oklahoma State will play Arkansas in a few years again. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see. Hey, maybe both teams will win. Like and sub reminder as well. We have a total of 3 people here on the stream. Actually, Jackson, is this the guy? Is that you from camp? Scrappa? I don't know if that is you or not, because you seem like an Oklahoma State fan, so I don't remember. You're probably watching this, though, right now. Anywho, but make sure to like and subscribe. If it's not, I don't know if you ever subscribe to my YouTube channel, but if it's not, thank you, whoever it is, thank you for tuning into my stream. Always a pleasure for whoever tunes in my stream and starts chatting. Love it. So like and subscribe. We're on the road to 1.1K subs and 2K subs. Yeah, it's you, dog. Yeah. That is you. Okay, thanks for. I don't know if that. I guess I told you about my channel. I did say it at the camp. I did end up saying it at the camp, so and that probably makes sense. Plus, I probably saying it. I did say it quite a bit, and plus, yeah. So, let me see. Okay, so yeah, like I said, we're on the road to 2K, so we're on the. So let's try to get there soon. All right, sneaky non-Power 4 teams. Liberty and Boise State, kind of always teams like that. Liberty could have honestly made it a couple years ago if it wasn't for the 4-team playoff being still a thing. And then Boise State made it last year. They'll have some experience as well, so will Liberty. And then UNLV will have Dan Mullen. He was the head coach of Florida just a few years ago, and then he went to broadcasting and then got the job at UNLV just this offseason. And now we'll have Anthony Colandrea going to be able to help that offense, and wide receivers like Troy Amire and JoJo Olare able to help this Rebel offense thrive and have a chance at winning the Mountain West. Now that Boise State maybe not be a top contender in the Mountain West, they might have a chance. Their defense won't be as good, but they will still have a good great attack on them on the front. Sorry, I'm losing my. But they will still have a good front attack. They lost some players in the portal. They lost some players overall, but they gained some. So it will just really depend on what they can do there. But I really can trust Dan Mullen being able to get UNLV to the playoffs, sneak in there, and who knows. You never know with college football, never know with the NCAA. Could they even make another jump into a next round or something? It'd be pretty cool, Dan Mullen, especially. I like seeing him with Mississippi State. He can coach a team. We've seen it before. He can turn this UNLV team into something than what we've seen. Maybe not even like last year. It could even be better. But of course, UNLV was still good. But they had Dan Enos, who was Arkansas's defensive coordinator a while, and he kind of helped them. That's why they were pretty good last year in that situation. So it will be kind of interesting to see. But those three teams, I think, can make a sneak into the college football playoff. Liberty, they scared Arkansas, and they beat them a few years ago. I could definitely see them doing something like that. Can't forget them Irish. Notre Dame is going to have a tough back room and a tough secondary. I mean, it's going to be loaded. They got a lot of returners starting. It's going to be a pretty elite team that maybe can make a push back to the national championship and maybe even a chance of winning. And Marcus Freeman now has a lot of confidence going into the season and can bring this team to the national championship. Once again, Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price combined for over 1,000 yards last year. It was huge. A big quarterback could hold them back. Carr, I think it's a competition. Young QB, like I said. Their Great House was in the national championship, had over 100 yards last year, and so we could see him at a starting position this year and even improving in the offseason to continue that and really help this team out. But like I said, I mean, the Vikings, I'm talking about the Vikings because it was always like, hey, they got a tough, really good team surrounding them. It's a question with the QB. You never know. They could really just be really talented around them, and I could see Notre Dame developing that. And Marcus Freeman can develop the quarterback pretty well. So I trust them, and I hope Notre Dame does. I'd love to see them go back to the national championship and maybe even win it. A young coach's dream at that age is to win one, and it's not always easy. And Ohio State was able to do it last year. It was fun watching them play each other. Anywho, 3 champion favorites for me. Number 1 is Ohio State. Number 2 is Clemson. 3, Georgia. And it's not ranked, but those are the 3 ones for me. We saw Georgia won a couple years ago. They went back-to-back. Ohio State won it last year, and Clemson, we've seen do it before. So we've seen these guys have championship DNA, but now the new revamped teams, obviously. Georgia, it may not be as much revamped. Their defense will be loaded. Ohio State, we went into their discussion, and Clemson has a Heisman candidate quarterback. And these are coaches that all 3 of them have won a national championship, so I can trust them. I'm not just saying picking out teams that have won national championship. No, I'm not doing that. These are elite teams I can see going to. I can see winning it, but I'm not going to predict who. It's kind of, I didn't really make one this year, but maybe next year I'll make an actual college football playoff bracket. I don't know why I didn't this year. But if you didn't know my bio, I don't really do much on the football on my channel with college football, but I make sure to include it quite a bit. But I do more with NFL. But if my career, whenever I do come, my future career, I will be willing to focus on anything I'm given, especially football. I just focus more on NFL due to my time, and I like NFL more, but I love watching college football. Saturdays are great. It's obviously, that's why I know about these teams too. Well, thanks for watching. Like I said, NFL Talk Show next Sunday. Thank you for anyone that tuned in to the stream. Yeah, I know it was like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something, but I just wanted to talk that much, especially since it's school night. Some of y'all have school, I have school. But remember, an NFL talk show, as of right now, will be next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. I will try to get one of my old coaches to that's been wanting to. I texted him. He said he doesn't know yet, but I will get back to him and I will let you know. And anything changes, I will let you know. Thank you for whoever tuned in. It's been a great talk. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of college football. Like yesterday, I saw some NC Central Southern. I saw Stanford blow a lead against Hawaii. That was actually a good game. I didn't watch the end of it. I got busy with some other stuff to do. And then, of course, the new scoreboard. Let me know what you think about that new scoreboard. I think it's good. The Modern Day and St. Thomas Aquinas also came on. I haven't seen really them play ever, but now I got the chance to, so just a little bit. So it's fun doing that. Thank you so much for watching, Dog Squad. I will see you next time, next live stream, and next video. Predictions. More predictions come this week. The last predictions, and the next, for when we do the NFL talk show, I'll have my predictions ready. And I probably will announce my playoff bracket champion then. And so whenever, if that his name is Coach Forte. I'm trying to get, so I'm gonna try to see if I'll have his thoughts on that playoff bracket too. And I'll of course probably make an edit just like I did last year on it. I'll try to, but if not, it'll be on the live stream. You can look at that. Thanks so much for watching, Dog Squad. I'll see you next time. Peace.